All right. Hello and welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Team Next Level Coaches Roundtable. I've got my wonderful co-hosts around me, Rich, Marilyn, and James. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hi. We've come so far from our first podcast with just like sitting here in a small like tech group, and now we should see this. People should see the setup. That's
luckily
happening.
we're recording this, so hopefully everybody will be able to see the setup, and we'll hopefully post this up to YouTube. So if you'd rather watch than listen, you have that option.
I got to take a picture of DJ Greg over here.
This is amazing.
We've got all kinds of stuff going on.
I was going to ask like what people do to prepare for this podcast. Like, what do you like? You listen to some music, but now I could see this. This is what's happening.
This is what happens. We try. I try and plug stuff into other things and see if it actually records and works. And hopefully, fingers crossed, all this stuff works. So hopefully, everybody's having a good week so far. Rich, how was Florida?
That was really nice. I was there for the hurricane. It was just a couple of days of rain, so luckily we didn't get it too bad. But it was really nice to get away and relax. And it was actually like a good time for me to just actually take a break from all the training that I do and just kind of just relax. And it was really good because I needed that.
Awesome.
I heard you are the hurricane. That's your nickname on the course.
You can start the trend. More like the Tasmanian devil.
I could see that.
And James, big weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Where are you at mentally?
I'm really nervous for some reason now.
Yeah.
I think I'm more nervous about the feeling of what if I put all this time and training in and it all just is for nothing. Like I just totally mess up or something. So that's where my head's at right now. But I know I should just listen to the plan you gave me and I just have to follow that and I'll be fine.
And probably not the plan that Garmin's race predictor gave you today.
Yeah. I mean,
How did you find that?
It's on the watch.
It's
Yeah,
on
so
the
we
showed up.
Yeah.
Are you afraid to let
it's a
Garmin
thing on your
down?
watch.
So it's on one of these performance things, and you go. It says my VO2 max is like 55 or something. I don't know what exactly that means. Oh, it says superior, but then it gives you these estimates, and so it says my estimated marathon time is 3:27:24. There's no way, but part of me's like, what if?
Hey,
Wow.
There's only one way to find out, right?
yeah.
That's the thing.
Don't let us down.
Gotta get right to that line.
I mean, I can definitely do something in 3 hours and 27 minutes. I just don't know where along the course
Where
I
along
will
the
be.
course, the bottom will drop out?
Yeah. 3/4 of marathon, maybe.
Positive thinking.
No, more than that.
We'll see. We see.
So that's awesome. We're excited for you. We're going to follow you on their tracker. Doesn't
I
seem
know,
as nice as like Ironman stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they have a tracker? You need to send me that link.
I guess I could.
something.
Why don't we just chip him?
I could do a
chip in his pocket.
Yeah.
I could do a Garmin live track link. I guess.
You could do that. That'd be
Yeah.
really nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll do. Can I revoke that link later though, or no? How does
think
that
so.
work?
No, once you're tracked,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
forever.
you can.
All
Yeah, you
right.
can.
We always know where you are.
Because that's what I use for my wife, since she's always worried about me on the bike and stuff.
Oh, do you?
I use a live track, so she it starts the ride, and then the thing is, like, if I shake my hand like this,
It thinks there's an accident.
it starts beeping, and then I have
Oh,
like
no
30
way.
seconds to disable it because it says it's going to contact your emergency contact. So it thinks you've gotten a
Oh.
crash, but it's like my hand's numb,
Yeah, yeah.
and I just do that, and I just feel it vibrate all of a sudden. I'm like, uh-oh.
Huh.
But yeah, maybe I'll put a live track link.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I do have a high fear of failure, and so if I know everyone's watching me, I'll be afraid to not do well. So it forced me to do well.
You're gonna do well.
You're going to do fine.
Yeah.
We're not really watching you. We're doing it for us.
No.
And having some butterflies in your stomach is good.
True.
Don't
True.
doubt your abilities.
Yeah.
I need to work on
Superhuman
that.
abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I talk a big game, but inside I'm just a scared
That's
little
not true.
boy.
We all know that's not true.
Every track workout we line up. Oh, everybody knows what pace should we run? Oh, I don't know if I could do that. That was his thing every time, and then you did
Kills it. He kills
Yeah,
it every
yeah,
time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's for a short period of time. I could do anything.
I could do anything
if
for
I know
6
where the
hours.
end
I'm
is.
Yeah. Who cares that you've been training for this for 4 months or
Right.
whatever?
Right.
So you'll be
True.
good. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun thing to watch. I'm sure you're going to have a blast
And Koichi will be out there.
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Michael
gonna crush it,
Zocco,
too.
we haven't seen a lot of him either, but
No.
I think he's running it. So
Mhm. Awesome.
Mo, I've seen Mo a couple times.
Farah?
I don't know who that is, but no.
I'm excited for the recap after.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. 'Cause
After
I know all of you've put into it, but you know, I actually think it's more about really the journey and then what's afterwards. Don't
Yeah.
tell me right away.
No,
Wait
24
48 hours.
hours.
48
Oh my
hours.
God.
Then you can tell me.
I mean, I'll have to fight the urge to sign up for more races afterwards, right?
Hey Greg, can I do a marathon in 2 weeks?
That's why my finisher photo is gonna be like me on my phone signing up
Signing
for
up
the
for the
next
next marathon?
race. Yeah,
2 weeks you could do.
yeah.
2 weeks you could do another one. Not too much. Not longer than that though.
Can we? I mean, I'd like to do the 5K on at Upper Saddle River.
On
Is
Thursday.
that too soon? I mean,
By say do, you mean show up and represent us and tell people
Yeah,
about
not,
us?
not set a PB.
Right.
Probably.
it says 19 minutes on my watch.
You need to test that.
Yeah. It's a really
Not at that course.
It's a hilly 5K.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
really hilly.
And we have to see. Maryland has to defend her.
No, I'm not defending anything.
Her
I've barely
title.
I've barely been running.
So that's enough. For you barely is. You got to defend
Yeah.
it.
No.
I mean,
No
you're up
shame
to
for
4
that.
miles
The
now.
gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah, but I walk. And I
And
haven't run fast since like July.
everybody knows that Marilyn walks faster than I run, right? It's just clearly that's
It's true.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up on the pipe. But things are starting to wind down. I think after Thanksgiving, it'll kind of be a little bit of a quiet time. Monday. I start like base week 1 for next season. So
Oh wow.
Excited.
yeah,
yeah,
good plan.
You know what that means for you, James. You don't have a lot of fast time.
I was like, wait a minute.
James has got
We're
just-
signed
he
up for the
just-
same race.
I
You're
know,
gonna start already?
You didn't see his face like dropped.
I'm not in marathon shape though, so you can have a little bit of a breather.
I gotta start swimming again though. Oh, it's been a while.
So that means like even during Thanksgiving, you're going to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to having those days off and being able to put in some time.
But like nutrition wise,
Oh, good question.
you gonna let it go or just,
No,
you gotta focus.
I don't eat like crazy on Thanksgiving. I'm not like I won't go back for seconds and thirds. Like I'll have a big plate.
Your
And I
plate
don't-
is just this big.
Yeah, I just bring the whole
He
turkey.
fits all of it.
The whole table's the plate.
Yeah.
I don't have a second table or a third table, just the table.
One table. I just eat one table.
Maybe half a dessert table, but I limit myself.
Right. I like desserts, but not crazy stuff. Yeah, I try and keep the drinking to a minimum. It's like Thursday's definitely. I'm not like thinking about what I'm eating, but I don't have that like food coma afterwards. And then the next day, like I'm not jonesing for another plate of whatever we had. So
Oh really?
And it's just one day.
right,
I mean,
one day is not
it's
gonna.
not gonna
I could
do
yeah.
anything.
So we'll see. It'll be fun. I look more forward to like the whole cooking for everybody and putting the meal together.
Nice.
So, all right. So we got that was really loud. So we've got our topic for today, and what we thought we'd do the first couple episodes we had, we talked about kind of, I think more like the planning and mental aspect of getting ready for your triathlons and your events. But there's a whole lot of crap that goes along with just doing these things. So we thought we'd take a chance to go through like kind of what do you need to get started, and I think what we'll probably end up doing is hitting on like different levels of stuff, from the rank beginner who's just starting out. Like you don't need to go out and buy a $10,000 bike. You don't need all these things just to take part in your first race.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, sorry. But then we'll kind of hit on some of those other things that maybe might be upgrades. And I think we've all probably learned some things in that upgrade path that could save people some headaches and some money, so that they don't have to buy 2-3 times to get that right thing when they could buy it right the first time. So that's kind of our plan.
Yeah, and also like when you're out there looking for stuff, there's just a sea what I will say is
So much.
nonsense for lack of a curse word. You know, there's just so much of it,
We can put
and
the
you
explicit
can't
tag on this. You can
right.
say
You
whatever you
can't
want.
have enough. Like there's no limit when you're in this sport. There's just no limit. You can keep going.
Yeah.
So I think our purpose here is to kind of go down to some good basic things and weed out some of the BS that people don't need.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think we start with? Swimming stuff? Start at the beginning?
Sure.
The cheaper stuff.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
is. The
So,
cheaper
It
stuff.
so are we talking about the same Speedo
is.
that John had? Or what are we doing? Are we talking
Somebody
about what we need?
deleted. I had that on our list. I had Speedo on our list. You deleted it,
I,
Marilyn.
I
didn't
did
you?
not delete
You're
it.
full of it.
I thought of deleting it, but I didn't. Someone else did.
I added to the list, but I don't remember deleting.
It's a public service. Speaking for all your wives, moms, daughters.
Small children on the side of the pool who might be scarred for life.
But along with that, right? The fins are like the thing that everybody like. What does everybody think? Do we need like kickboards, fins, pull buoys, those masks? Do we need parachutes? What
There's
do
so,
people
there's so
think?
much stuff. So what do you really need? You need a bathing suit, and I would definitely suggest getting something made for lap swimming, and not baggy shorts, things with pockets on them.
That's what I showed up with in my first lesson with John. I didn't own.
Yeah.
I didn't think
know
he
what
was part of the
jammers were.
group. I was like, this guy's not part of the group. He's wearing baggy stuff. I wasn't even there, and I didn't think he was part of the group.
Yeah. So for guys, they're typically called jammers, which are like a pair of bike shorts without the pad in them. I will say, Speedos are more comfortable to swim in. They really are.
I could see that, I guess.
But they're Speedo jammers. Speedo's just a company.
Okay. So
Well,
when
he
we say
means like
Speedos, we're talking, budgie smugglers, whatever you want to call
I
them.
just wanted.
Banana hammock. Whatever we
Just
want
try
I
to
like
make-
that one, banana hammock.
Yeah.
What's
they
the
are more.
uncomfortable part? The
I don't
tightness
know if
on-
there is an uncomfortable part as much as like in Speedos, you're free. Like you feel the water.
Because the legs.
That
Yeah,
was a
you
little
feel
too
the water
free.
on your legs a little bit. But I think for modesty purposes, most people will wear jammers. But you know what? If you feel comfortable in Speedos, freaking rock
Go
Speedos.
for it.
Unless you go to
Sure.
the pool, that does not allow.
Except unless you go
Just
to
be
Dr.
sensitive.
John's pool.
Call the pool
24-hour
up. Can I wear
fitness.
Speedos?
Yeah.
Now, wasn't like, I mean, I see my kids, they swim and they're wearing tech suits.
Yeah.
Like they're
Knee
like,
skins.
they're
Yeah.
like for the girls, they're wearing basically
Oh, really? The
jammer like
girls too?
bottoms and then
Yeah, so
really
the,
tight
the,
top.
the fabric in those tech suits is faster than shaved skin.
Oh, it's
So-
the fabric, not
Yeah.
necessarily like covering.
Well, so the suits also have some compression built into them, so they're going to squeeze you into a smaller shape. So you're going to
Oh, wow.
take up less drag, but the fabric itself is also faster than skin.
So I'm just thinking, like, is a jammer like
No,
faster than a Speedo?
not a $30 Speedo endurance jammer that you're going to buy.
I see.
Yeah,
So do not get those speed skins. You don't
no,
need
no,
them.
please don't. Those are made like literally after one or two swims, they've lost some of their ability.
Oh wow.
And they're for girl suits $400 or $500 for the top end ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
my daughter
insane.
wants like a new one every single time. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But now I guess you just
Yeah.
validate. She
That's
listens to
why.
this and she's gonna be like, "Oh, see, he said it after
Yeah.
2 times."
How old's your daughter?
13.
Oh, so she just aged out, right? She can wear them now
Yeah.
because they were so expensive. They enacted a rule that you couldn't wear those top end tech suits if you were 12 or under.
Yeah, it has to have a
Ah.
special tag on it that
Yeah.
says like 12 and under.
Right. So those are a little bit less expensive, made a little bit less, fancy, but they don't wear out as quick. So you need that. You need a pair of goggles.
And there's always a big thing. Everybody you talked about goggles, like which ones do you get?
Yeah,
Do you,
yeah.
you got to find ones that fit.
Yeah, I feel it's very personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's trial and error.
Yeah.
We do have a deal with Magic 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we can throw that. We'll throw a link
Put a
to Magic 5 on the show notes, but I
They,
wonder if
they've
we
been
can-
having deals periodically. So even if we
Mm-hmm.
just throw the link and people sign up for it, they definitely and use our tag. I mean, people get they throw out deals all the time.
Yeah.
I think they just buy one,
I've
get
never
one.
used them, but it seems like you guys really like them, right?
I was
I do,
skeptical
yeah.
at first. I was like, oh, whatever, like 3D custom, whatever. Like, I was like, the tightness on goggles never really bothered me before. And then once you use these, then putting
Mm-hmm.
on regular goggles, you feel like your eyes are going to pop out on because a regular
Yeah.
goggle now just feels so tight
Mm-hmm.
to keep it sealed. Whereas Magic 5 ones, they're on kind of just
Loose almost.
Yeah, like, yeah,
yeah.
just-
Yeah, leave it to
comfortable.
Rich to be contradictory because the ones I use for outdoor swims, they fit great and they fit loose and they fit fine, and then the ones I use for pool swim, they like have like a little bit they
They're both
over
Magic
time.
5s?
Mhm.
Okay.
And they're both from the same order, like so the fit should have been built the same, but indoor, I have to make them a little tighter.
Maybe it's different water inside.
I don't know.
It's drier.
Well,
Drier
the
water.
technic-
The outdoor water's
technicals are
drier.
like if I push off the wall and it's really like it's a
Oh,
little
you're
bit
so fast.
different, so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
You just got to find the ones that fit for
yeah,
you.
I
Some
think
people
it's
use
trial and
masks,
error.
like my dad uses a mask. So
Yeah, I'm going to suggest not using a mask. I'm going to suggest trying different kinds of goggles out, different brands, find a pair that fits. You might have you might go through 3 or 4 pairs. Goggles are relatively inexpensive in this whole grand scheme of things. Just find a pair that fits.
Mm-hmm.
And then stock up on them because the company's going to change their design and you're going to be out of luck.
yeah, I used the same ones for so many years, and they like stopped making them, and I had thankfully a bunch that I
Yeah.
just stocked up on.
So jammers, goggles, or bathing suit,
Swim cap?
goggles, swim cap.
Swim cap until you do your first race, and then you're just going to have boatloads of caps. Or talk to any triathlete in your area and just ask them for their caps because every race you go to gives you a
That is
cap you
true.
have to wear, and I don't ever
But-
wear a cap
but-
afterwards.
yeah, but why?
Why do they give you?
Why get a cap? I don't wear a cap.
I don't wear
Well,
a cap
girls
either.
have to wear a
Girls,
cap because your
yeah,
hair.
keep your hair out of your
Fair.
Yeah.
out of your
Yeah.
face. That's
Fair.
it.
I
But,
also
but in
do not
general,
wear a
like
cap.
I see a lot of people wear them, and I know they're going to make you faster in the water, but I never
No, I don't.
practice with a cap.
Maybe they make you faster. I don't see.
I
any
get too
need.
hot.
Yeah,
It is
that's
really
what it is.
hot.
My head
Yeah.
can't breathe, and
Yeah.
I'd rather
If
just
I
not
had
wear.
your hair, I wouldn't
Well, if
wear
you're
one
trying to
either.
breathe through your head, that's your first problem.
You could.
You should breathe through your
You
mouth.
could.
No, thank you.
I
Do it.
Yeah, I don't wear a cap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear.
You
one
also
at a
wear
race
the
if I-
Swedish goggles, which I'm jealous of.
I do wear the Swedish goggles.
I've been meaning to
ex-
try those.
But I don't wear them in a race because I'm worried about getting hit in the face and having it like give me a black eye. So I want a little bit of cushion. But if I
I think you have to explain to people what those are.
so Swedes are
Jumping up high things.
oh something's wrong with it. Sorry, that was Rich from Dr. John episode.
How did that just fly by itself?
I don't know. This thing's possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Swedes are just the plastic part of the goggle. There's no like cushion or foam or gasket. It's just a hard plastic sealing against your eye socket. They're a little bit smaller, so they like sit inside your eye cup
Socket? So it's like you're like sunbathing.
Yeah,
Looks
so
like-
if you took the rubber off the end of
Yeah.
any glasses, they're just the plastic part.
Right.
And that
hurt?
plastic part sits
No.
here.
If they fit your face. If they fit your face, they just kind of like the Magic 5s where you don't have to tighten them too much, and
Oh,
they
nice.
like I put them on and I don't need a strap. They'd stay like you feel the suction on your
Oh.
face.
Oh, wow.
But again, like it's hard plastic against your skin. You might get those lines, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I always swam in them as a kid, and they feel great. They're cheap. They're dirt cheap. Like you have
Not
to put them
anymore.
together yourself. Like they come with a little string to tie the two eyepieces together. There's a rubber strap or a bungee and stuff that it comes with. You build them to fit your face. They're like $4.
Are they?
Yeah,
Because I
maybe-
don't think I
maybe
saw them that cheap.
$5.
Really?
Yeah, if you get the metallic ones, the metallicized ones are like 10 or $12, but they're dirt cheap. So, yeah.
So let's go to the other apparel stuff. Not apparel, but like the
So I'm
fin.
going to say that when you're starting out, that's all you need.
Okay.
From there, the first thing I would do, especially if you're a new swimmer, is get a pair of fins.
Do you think it's important to get like a kickboard to work on your kick?
No, I think that every gym or pool you go to has probably got a bucket of kickboards that you can grab. So I have a kickboard, and then I stopped carrying it because it didn't fit in my bag. Like every pool's got one. I don't know that there's a huge amount of importance unless you've got like some problem with your kick that an instructor or a coach has like said like your kick is not good. I don't know that there's a huge need to work on it. I'll usually throw some kick in just to kind of give my shoulders a break before a hard set or something like that. But I don't feel like there's a huge need for like a big kick set and kickboards. And I think it's probably better for your form if you don't use a kickboard for it. So
Pull buoy, paddles.
I'm torn on this one.
Don't be torn. Just tell us what you think.
Well, do you guys use pull buoy and paddles?
I've been told to throw away my pull buoy.
Yeah.
You've seen me swim with a pull buoy. Yeah, but paddles, yeah.
I think so. I think pull buoy. One of the swim drills that I liked doing with it to get faster was you touch the pull buoy at the end. So it's like a flick drill type thing. So you touch it
In between your legs.
on the end when you come out.
when you come out.
When you
On
come
the
out.
backside?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you make sure you're extending the arm. But otherwise, I do think it's like a crutch, and I don't really like using it that much.
Yeah.
I just am terrible with it.
I think it can be used more as a diagnostic tool. Like if you get significantly faster with a pull buoy, then your legs are dropping. You know, like because the pull buoy is lifting those. So
Yeah.
I get the pull buoy is a piece of foam or rubber or something like that goes in between your thighs. Helps you don't kick with it, and it helps your legs float. So if you have sinky legs and you put on a pull buoy and you suddenly get 5 or 7 seconds per 100 faster, like that should let you know like there's something wrong
Your
with my
legs are
stroke,
sinking.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like as a diagnostic tool, okay. The other thing it could be useful for is if you want to do like a really easy day, you know, and almost use your swim as a recovery, then taking your legs out of it, just letting them float. Some people use floaty pants, which are like half wetsuit shorts.
Yeah. What's it shorts?
I forget who makes them. Oh,
Everybody makes
them.
makes them, right? So
Yeah.
you could throw those on for the same kind of effect. But the same thing, like if you get significantly faster with floaty pants on, like there's something with your stroke,
Yeah.
you know, to think about.
I
So-
definitely love lazy swimming with a pull buoy.
Mhm.
It's just like float around, barely do anything. I mean,
Uh,
if I could do it in a race, I would do it too.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I
at
use
You
it.
take up
I
swim
can't.
run. Swim run, you're allowed to use a pull buoy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pull buoy and paddles. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to carry them on the run too.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
And your shoes.
you can wear your shoes.
I
And
can't.
you know, I used it like if you're in the water and you get a cramp and you want to keep swimming, I will throw a pull buoy in.
have you ever tried swimming with a pull buoy between your ankles?
I've tried
No.
with my
Um,
ankles
no.
with a
Why?
band
With it,
around.
Yeah, I have a band that I keep and put around my ankles.
This
with the
was
pull buoy.
the other Greg's tip because he was very against pull buoys because he said it just makes you lazy, not engaging your core. But if you try it on your ankles, it
Yeah.
forces you to engage your core.
Yeah, but there's
And I
so
felt like I
many
was gonna
other
drown.
things to get. Like you can get those things that look like water bottles and like they.
That's
suck
what.
out.
So
that's
that's-
what. Yeah, we
You have
both
one, right?
Yeah.
That's what you
yeah.
guys are
The
talking about.
Yeah.
Any buoy, ENEY. We'll
Right.
put a link to that in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Is like 2 soda bottles
Mhm.
almost connected. You can
Yep.
fill one up. You can fill both up. And if you fill both up, I think it's like negative 12 pounds of downward force, and you have to literally hold your legs up.
Why?
So that's
Why?
pretty
Who wants
intense.
to-
Right. Well, Greg 2.0 says you should do
Just
it.
put like a parachute at the back of you too. Like, oh, you got to drag a parachute through the
Yeah.
water.
You should come to our swim practices at the high school.
Wear shoes. Buy things.
This thing.
This is great. This
Sorry,
is this
man.
is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Now we're to press any button on there.
I
Yeah,
know.
You know what? I'm just gonna. I forgot I can do that. I do think paddles have a good place. Paddles is almost like in water strength training.
Yeah.
Don't get pairs that are too big. They come in all different sizes. Start off with, they usually like recommend them based on your level of swimming. So be honest with yourself. And if you're a beginner, get the smaller ones. They're relatively cheap, so it's easy to level up as you get stronger. But don't do too much because I think it can lead to, if your stroke's not really good, it can lead to some overuse injuries.
Shoulder stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm
you
For
know.
sure.
But if you're using them properly, I think they're a good thing to have.
All right, real quick before I know we're talking about stuff, but real quick, and we'll go into it maybe another episode. Flip turn or no flip turn?
No.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a flip turn. I end up in like the next lane next to me. So it's like,
That's perfect for the try that happens. If that's easy to do.
I tried like a handful of times and I was like, yep, nope. Not worth it.
I think you should learn to do flip turns.
I agree.
Um,
I don't think you have to do them all the time, but I do think it's a good feel
So-
for the water thing.
it's just so embarrassing.
here's why. They don't let you take a break.
I agree.
So they continue, it's a little bit faster, but you don't get that breather on the wall. And when you're doing open water swimming, you don't get that breather. So I think it's a good thing to be able to do. I think it makes you work a little bit harder. So I do think it's value in taking the time to do them and
Not
trying to do
necessary
them
to
as
do when you
often as
first
you
start out, though.
no.
Totally fine. Totally push
Can
off
I
the wall.
pretend I'm just starting out?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just
Well,
one
me
more
too.
thing to learn.
You
I mean,
can just
it's-
keep your head down and not do a flip turn.
I've
I've
done
seen
them-
people do that. They push off the wall, but they don't pick up their head to breathe.
So don't take a breath on the wall.
Yep.
Okay.
I've done
How do you
ones
do
where
that?
my back is like scraping against the ground. Like I need help.
Yeah.
Thank God the
I'm too
marathon is
embarrassed
only
to,
running one foot in front of the other.
Greg point 5 is just shaking his head.
I'm too embarrassed to like practice it because it just looks
Yeah.
so bad.
And the pool that James and I swim at, there's literally hardly anybody there when we go. So it's just like you and the person, the lifeguard. So like,
I like how you did air quotes when you said lifeguard. Like, now this guy's not really a
so
lifeguard.
he's just watching everything
Yeah.
you do the whole time. It's,
Feels very judgmental.
yeah, yes, yes.
Learning flip turns took a while, and to get comfortable with it took a while. It wasn't a natural thing, but it was good to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, but I don't think you need to be. But it's also good to kind of get the feel for the water.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
you should do 'em. Everything else, I think, with swimming stuff is just incidentals. You know, like I don't know that a watch is too necessary. I think most like competitive swimmers probably don't wear a watch when they swim. Just learn to use the pace clock. You know, if you have a watch for your other sports, then it'll do swimming. I think pretty much every watch does pool swimming. So
To get better at swimming, I feel that it's not. A lot of people will say, and historically, it's just about getting in the water and swimming and swimming and swimming and putting in as much as you can for as long as you can. But I think it's important getting in the water with a workout and having sets and having different things that you're working on and different engines that you run. And I think that's different gears that you run. I think that's also maybe something to think about as you get in the pool. Like, what's the workout? What's the goal? What are the drills? And I think that helps a lot in swimming.
yeah.
What about open water?
What about it? Gear for open water?
Yeah, like a minimum. Like I feel like safety wise, you at least need a
Oh,
buoy.
you need a buoy.
You need a buoy.
You need a
Super-
buoy for safety for so many reasons, for sighting, for someone else to see you,
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those, again, super cheap. Just get whatever the cheapest one on Amazon is. You don't need anything fancy.
All right, around here, finding open water is the hard part.
It is. It's tough.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's really the only. I would say with the goggles, you might want to have a couple different color goggles for different sun conditions and stuff. I usually have a mirrored pair and then like, you know, a regular tinted pair and a clear or light blue pair.
I think I
For
have a box
different-
of goggles.
Yeah.
Whatever that-
So I don't really think anybody think any other swimming stuff.
I
That's
mean,
important.
good.
What do you use? Do you spit in the goggles or do you use that spray
I
stuff?
spit in the goggles.
Baby shampoo.
Baby shampoo. All right.
He doesn't do
I
anything.
don't do anything.
He doesn't wear goggles.
Yeah.
Just-
He's like, what are you guys talking about?
That's an anti-fog. No.
No,
Okay.
I just deal with the fog. I
Deal
can't
with the
see
fog.
anyway, so
That's true. In open water, you really can't see
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So who cares if it's foggy? But yeah, I'll just spit in them before. It's probably more just a nervous habit than actually doing anything, though. So, all right, bike stuff. We're going to do
Into
a
the
little bit
fun.
on bikes themselves, but just bike accoutrements, you know.
so do
the
you want to
extra
start with
stuff.
the bike or you want to end with the bike?
I don't care.
Read the list.
Yeah. Don't you
Yeah,
have to
definitely gotta
show
go-
me?
Come
the list
on.
in
Damn
front of
This-
you.
I think once I started cycling with a group, like and it's just ingrained in my head, like wearing a helmet. And then when I see people not wear helmets,
So you
Oh my
didn't
God,
wear a
yeah.
helmet before?
I didn't
Hold on,
really
let's
bike.
back up.
I didn't really cycle. And so then what I did was when I was a kid, and I didn't wear a helmet when I was a kid.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, many falls. But then when cycling with the group wearing a helmet, now I'm like, it feels weird. I can't imagine. Like I see people when I see people riding around without,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
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 So definitely a helmet. A
Yeah,
good
that's
helmet.
number one. And fun fact about helmets: if they have that CPC sticker on them, they're as safe as any other helmet. So money does like the cheapest helmet is just as safe as the most expensive
What
helmet
does
out there.
CPC stand for?
It's some I don't know some certifying
We're
company.
going to have to
that-
post that.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, not really. Every helmet you ever buy in a bike shop or Walmart or wherever is going to have that sticker on it. They have to be certified to be sold in the U.S. So it doesn't matter if it's a $20 helmet or a $500 helmet. Safety wise, they all have to pass the same relatively rigorous safety standards. So cost of a helmet is usually how light and airy and aero, can they make that helmet? And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for design features, not for safety. So keep that in mind when you're buying something.
So when you're swimming, those Speedos make you really fast, and you use them in the water. Are you using them on the bike? Are you
Speedos?
Speedos on the bike? Is
No,
that what's
please.
happening?
Old school triathletes did. You look back in the day, they did Ironmans in Speedos.
So you think they were faster because they use Speedos?
I don't know.
Maybe.
That's if they shave their whole body, though, right?
Who doesn't? No.
Moving on to bike
Moving on.
shorts.
Let's stay away from Speedos.
So bike shorts.
Bike shorts.
Yeah.
Bike shorts are big. I think a lot of people don't wear bike shorts because they feel uncomfortable in tight stuff out in public.
Not
Everybody else is
wearing
doing
bike
it.
shorts feels uncomfortable.
Yeah. I will
not
agree
wearing
with
bike
that.
shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some bike shorts have that chamois pad built into them. I will say with bike shorts, you get what you pay for. Really cheap stuff tends to not fit very well, wear out quicker.
I'm still trying to figure out why bibs are more expensive than bike shorts. Like, what is it about bibs
It's
that
more
makes them like
fabric.
Just a little bit
so
more
much
fabric.
more expensive?
I don't think they are
They're
so
not
much
that
more
much.
expensive. I just don't think anybody makes really, really high quality bike shorts because most serious cyclists wear bib shorts.
Right.
So I don't think Rafa, I can't even pronounce them. I certainly can't buy them. That makes $300 bib shorts. I don't think they make a pair of regular bike shorts. So I don't think that's usually, like, if there have been companies where I've seen like shorts and bibs of the same kind of version, it's like a $10 difference.
So bibs?
100%.
Much more comfy.
Especially if you have a long torso. Because the tops for triathlon are, I don't know who they made it for. But yeah, if you have a long
Proportionate
torso,
people.
you have to be comfortable showing your midriff.
Yeah. I don't. I guess I haven't.
The new one, it doesn't. The new one's good on you, right?
Because it's a one piece.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Key, yes.
So I think with bike shorts, you get what you pay for. I would stay away from like the $20 shorts on Amazon. Buy a reputable brand, something that, what some of the ones we've had.
Garneau. I
Garneau.
like Garneau.
Louis Garneau stuff is really good.
Castelli.
Castelli is
Oh,
very,
sorry,
very
yeah,
good.
Castelli.
I have the Pearl Izumi.
Yeah,
Izumi
Those
is
are
good.
good, too.
Pearl Izumi is a really good, like, I don't want to say middle of the road because I think people get a bad,
Kind
they're
of more affordable.
they're more affordable. Yeah, they're built a little bit, like the materials are a little thicker. They're going to probably last a little bit longer because of that. So more of a generic cut on the way the panels and stuff are cut. So they might not fit quite as well as some of the more expensive stuff, but they're a good way to. That was the brand I was going to say is a good one to kind of go with and start with. Get yourself one, probably 2 pairs, so you can wash them and dry them properly. I think that's the biggest thing with these is you can't.
No dryer.
No dryer.
No dryer.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like you put them in the wash with. I have a special detergent that I use with all my athletic stuff. And then that comes out of the washer and goes in the dryer. So a non-detergent based washing soap, I guess, for all that stuff.
Oh.
And it makes them last a lot longer.
A lot longer.
Because when bike shorts go bad, everybody who rides behind you, unfortunately, has to deal with that.
Is it catastrophic?
Don't get white ones.
Yeah, very few people can pull off white bib shorts.
No one.
I sweat too
They
much for that.
shouldn't make
No
them.
one. I saw someone. No.
Right?
No,
They shouldn't
no,
make them.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Black is a good thing to go with.
Just go next year. Our kit's full white, head to toe.
I quit.
God, yeah, I think I would too. And I think the first club ride I showed up on, everybody else would quit too.
Chamois cream. Need some chamois cream
we didn't
for
put
those
that
bike
on.
shorts.
Yeah,
I didn't use it till later though, because I didn't know about it. And
That's not a good reason.
especially since I wasn't riding long rides, I'd say definitely like for your short ride in the beginning. I don't
it's
know.
probably not necessary.
It's not necessary, but it makes it
Better.
more, comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a bunch of brands out there again. Try out
So
a
much.
different one
Amazon.
each time. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I found this. Amazon had the 32-ounce pump bottle of
Oh.
chamois
I saw that in
butter.
your
I
car.
was like, oh, that's
You have
great.
it in the car?
I saw
I
it.
thought he got it
brought it
at
with
like
it.
Costco or BJ's or something.
It's actually mayonnaise.
Ew, gross.
Oh,
All right, moving on. Socks.
Okay.
Socks.
Cool sunglasses.
yeah.
Sunglasses. Yes. So I gave this piece of advice, and I think it made sense to a lot of people. The sunglasses that I typically get for like racing and everything like that don't have the top rim.
How come?
So when you're in arrow position, I just feel that top
Oh,
rim
yeah.
annoys me.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know. I mean,
If they're
some
narrow.
people don't care, but and then when I ride my road bike, I do have ones with full rim. But like when I'm racing or doing an event, I definitely don't like in arrow position. That rim annoys
I
me.
think it depends how narrow they are because I have a pair that I wore once and it bothered me because I was looking at the rim the whole time because I think they're more narrow than my wider ones are fine.
Yeah, I don't actually wear sunglasses when I ride in a race because
Not
my helmet
safe.
has
He
has
has
a
a
visor on
shield.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's my next purchase.
way faster.
The visor.
it's gonna be so
Helmet
fast.
with a visor.
It'd be cool though, like if you had the visor and like lift up the visor, and then you have sunglasses under the visor.
No, that would be dumb.
No,
We have,
no,
different
you-
definitions of cool.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what would be cool? A windshield wiper. That would be cool.
But I do think a good pair is important just because
Yes.
Yeah, so you can
debris
see.
getting in your eye,
Mhm.
definitely, obviously for the sun. But I noticed in the beginning, like wind and debris.
Yeah,
Like
you want
Mm-hmm.
you want like the bigger wraparound glasses serve a purpose. Like it's not just so you look like a 1980s WWF wrestler.
But that looks cool too.
It does.
But I also will say that when trying on those glasses, if you read enough into it, some of them like have amazing clarity.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
You-
like
You
if
pay
you
for that,
if you
though.
pay
for
for
it,
good
yeah.
glasses,
You know,
you're gonna get
Oakleys,
really good clarity.
Rokas
Yeah.
all have phenomenal clarity.
Amazing clarity.
Yeah. Marilyn, you wear glasses. What do you wear when you ride? Contacts?
Oh no, I had nothing.
Just blind.
Well,
that
yeah,
explains a lot.
I only need it for close up,
Okay.
so I'm fine. Except when I'm
Can
trying
you
to
read your
read,
bike computer?
it's hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you're like, turn. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I can barely read my. I'm like, who
Yeah.
designs these? I wish I could make the
But
font big.
you can on the
Well, then
Garmin.
you have to
can
have less
big-
fields.
Yeah, less fields, but
Yeah,
you can have a
that's the
big
problem.
thing.
Unless I
Yeah.
just see speed and that's it or
So
something.
you can have one page with a lot of them, a lot of data, and then I have other pages which are just big.
Like, well, on our regular rides, I don't care as much. Like I'm not looking at it every 2 seconds. In a race, then I think I just put up 3 fields. I think I have my heart rate,
Yeah.
my power, and maybe distance. I forget,
Okay.
but because otherwise I can't see.
Yeah. Okay. I just got a pair of prescription like sunglasses that are decent.
Are they like bike sunglasses or like
Yeah, they're
random
like a
sunglasses?
sports sunglass.
Mm.
They're not the lenses aren't big enough though. Roka makes prescription ones, and I've had them in my shopping cart a couple times, and like just haven't pulled the trigger because it's like $400 to get a pair. But I mean that's what a pair of prescription sunglasses costs kind of
Yeah.
anyway.
We'll put the GoFundMe campaign. at the bottom.
There's a bunch of Black Friday deals, and then if you sign up for the Strava challenges on
Right,
Roko's
they
always
get-
giving
you get a
$50.
discount.
yeah.
But yeah, it is annoying. Like when I'm running, that's when it really because my watch I can't. We would be running at the track, and I'd be like, "What pace are we running?" Like I don't even know. I can't read it at all.
Like Greg, so do you ever consider wearing your glasses under the visor, like your
No.
vision glasses? No.
I don't need to.
He doesn't
I'm not
need
as
to
blind
see
as
all the
Marilyn.
people he's passing. He doesn't need to see people behind him.
I just want someone to have glasses under their visor, and then glasses under those glasses.
I think those would fog
Oh
up.
my
like
god!
crazy.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it'd fog up real bad.
You got to spit
Yeah.
on them.
Then I can't see anything through the spit.
Then you need the wipers.
Oh,
You guys
man.
all figured
We're
out.
Pulling it all together.
All right, socks.
Socks are socks.
It's
I don't know.
basic. Everyone's got socks.
Yeah.
I didn't know there
Some
were
people don't even
cycling
wear
socks
socks.
though. Like, there's definitely the right length you're supposed to get
Mm-hmm.
it.
I
Right.
think that's yeah. I mean, but all that's based on what the pro cyclists are wearing that year. You know, Used
More
to be-
style than function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I can't get used to the look of like ankle or no show socks when you're on a bike.
That's what I used to do in the beginning. I didn't know it was
No,
a
I like
big
them
faux pas.
a little longer too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need like up to like I don't have any socks that go like mid calf, but maybe I don't know how
Socks
big of
when
a-
racing.
depends on the length of the race.
100%.
I don't put them on for the bike leg. I'll put them on for the run.
Yeah, I Olympic and shorter, I don't wear socks. Half Ironman, I'm going to put socks on. And I'll put them on for the bike and just keep this,
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm going to take the time to put them on, I might as well have them on for the bike.
Hmm.
That's my thinking.
I don't know why I don't. I just don't.
I mean, it could suck putting wet socks on with
Yeah.
dirt and stuff and getting on the bike.
I just never did it for the bike, so
Mhm.
I kept it that way.
Yeah.
I guess then we have to talk about shoes then.
Well, do
We
you
didn't-
start with talking about the pedals
Yeah, it's in the
before
wrong
you
order.
talk about the shoes?
Well, those go together, don't they?
Yeah. So
To clip or not to?
Clip.
That is the question.
Clip.
So
I think
for-
you got to get used to
You're gonna
riding.
fall over in
first.
straps too.
You got to get
Yeah.
used to riding first.
I would not suggest toe clips, like the actual metal cage with the little strap.
The
I would-
straps,
Oh,
right?
I would say that is not a good idea.
That's where clipless came from, right? Because that was
Right, so-
considered
Yeah.
clip.
So back in the day, the you had the pedals, which were like a platform kind of pedal, and then there was a metal cage that came up and over the top of your foot, and either a leather or like a strap that went around your foot, and that would cinch down and
Oh, wow.
ratchet your foot onto the pedal, and those were called toe clips. So when Look came out with their clipless pedals, that was more like a ski binding, where you have a cleat on the bottom of your shoe and you clip into a pedal, so you're attached to the bike that way. I would say if you're going to get serious about it, eventually that's where you're going to go to. But kind of like Marilyn said, I think start with platform pedals and your running shoes, and then as you get more into it and you feel comfortable on the bike, I think without clipless pedals, everybody feels a little bit more comfortable. You get wobbly, you pull up to a red light, you can just put a foot down, and having to think about that, is just something that most people starting out don't feel comfortable thinking about yet.
Yeah, I think definitely helped. I think all the rides I did in the beginning, since it started in the pandemic, were on the trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just clipping in and out with that. And then that helped a little bit. I just started with clips. So I didn't know, other than when I was a kid with the regular platform. So it was just, I got used to it. And then I fell a couple of times. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once you do it, you don't,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean,
we've
I
all
didn't
fallen.
ride. Yeah, I've fallen quite a bit. I didn't ride that much without them, but I did a little,
Mhm.
and then
I mean, you
swept
lose
again.
a ton of power transfer.
Yeah.
That shoe is constantly flexing, and you're not putting, there's no. The whole idea of pulling up on the back of the pedal stroke is not really a thing.
Nope.
But you
Mhm.
just unweight that foot if you're
Mhm.
really good at it, and you can't do that if
Mhm.
you're on platform pedal.
Mhm.
So there's a little bit lost there, but really just the inefficiency of that sole that bends is where you're losing most of your oomph. So clipless pedals and or cycling specific shoes are definitely on that list of things.
Boas or Velcro?
I don't care.
oh
If
jeez,
care more about how the shoe fits my foot.
yeah, it's comfy.
Yeah, boas are nice, but I would say it's the same kind of thing. Like try specific shoe versus road shoe. I really don't think it matters too much. I don't think that you need a try specific shoe. I think a road shoe is more comfortable.
I think I bought, I think the popular Shimano Tri Shoe because it was one of the cheapest shoes you could start off. It was like $80 or something, and so I got that. It was Velcro, served me well for a while, and then when it was time to upgrade, I got the Boas.
Yeah.
But I just went by a budget. I was like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I wasn't because some of these shoes, I mean,
they're
crazy.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go
I
with
got
carbon
mine on
shoes.
sale like somewhere. They just happened to be on sale.
Yeah, and most companies when they change a colorway or
Right.
they come out with next year's models, you can usually, as long as you don't have some oddly sized foot,
Mhm.
you can usually find a good deal on last year's model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I think safety lights for the bike.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
it's-
that radar we all have.
Yeah, the Garmin Varia it's just that little peace of mind knowing what's
Mhm.
behind you a little bit is a nice thing to have.
But at minimum, like a flashing red
Yeah.
light in the
Yeah.
back and a
I-
strobe in the front.
I
is good.
actually think those are legally mandated. Like I think if a cop wanted to pull you over, they could write you a ticket for not having lights.
Not having a light.
Yeah, front and rear. So yeah, red light flashing in the back, a white light even during the daytime flashing in the
Yeah.
front.
Yep.
My only, knock on wood, altercation with a car was a car turning in front of me onto a side street, and I didn't have a blinky. I mean, it probably would have changed things because they said, "Oh, I didn't see you."
Yeah.
And I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
200 pounds, and at the time I was wearing bright blue head to toe. So
Yeah, they cars when they changed them to automatically have headlights to go on. It was because of a study that showed that visibility of a car was much better because the lights were on, and it's the same thing for a
Sure.
bike. So
and,
you should
and a
always have it
flashing,
on.
a
Yeah.
flasher is going to get everybody's attention a lot better. So even during the daytime, have that flasher going. That's the one thing I really like about the Garmin is it changes its flash pattern as the car gets closer. So like not just a flash that gets their attention, but a change in the flash is even going to get their attention
Right.
more.
Rear light, front light.
For
The
the
back
rear,
one.
the Garmin one on the back. Yeah. So, yeah, lights are 100% important, and they're really, really cheap for the cheap ones. So get something, and then as you get more into it and realize this is your thing, upgrade to either brighter or fancier ones.
Yeah, because I've been going through a bunch of just $10 cheap lights for a while until I got the Garmin. But my front lights, like they keep falling off when I hit a bump in Harriman or something. But I'm like, that's $10. Like I'll just get
Right.
another one.
Yeah.
They usually come in like a 2-pack anyway.
I got a really cool one that mounts to my computer holder in the front, like with a GoPro mount. So it's like screwed on.
Same.
Oh, I need to get that.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Any other cycling specific things?
Well, the actual
Oh my gosh.
bike itself.
Bike.
Do you need gloves?
Oh, yes.
I don't wear gloves.
A lot of people don't, but if you fall,
Mm-hmm.
your hands are the first thing that are going to hit the ground.
Yep. I will say the nice thing about gloves is like if I ride through some, gravel or glass or something, and I have a glove on, I'll just wipe my front tire and back tire with my
Don't
hand.
try this at home, people.
Also,
Do not
my
try
hands
this
get
at home.
sweaty.
My hands do
Don't
not get very sweaty.
No? It's just
It,
me.
it does complete the look though
James?
when you're in the
It gives you
spandex and then the
horrible
fingerless
tan
glove.
lines,
Like
I've never gotten tan lines on my hands.
need to ride more outside.
I've
Oh my
never
God.
seen people with finger tan lines.
Thank you.
It's not a thing.
No,
dark
no,
fingertips.
Never. That's
100%.
Your
never
fingertips are dark, and your rest of your hands are white.
happened. That's
Now
never happened.
now I want you to wear gloves, so just so I can see that.
my hands get sweaty. Yeah.
You guys should look up Tour de France cyclist tan
Yeah.
lines. Those guys are ridiculous.
All right, so if you're in the Tour de France, don't wear gloves. If you're
I
not
had
in the
gloves
Tour
on
de-
that day. We were riding like on the surface of the sun. No tan line.
I also I tried gloves too, also because my hands used to get really numb in the beginning, but that was more a function of bad, I think,
Bad
positioning.
position.
Yeah.
But it helped a little bit until I realized, all right, just got to.
Marilyn, do you wear gloves in a race?
No.
Okay.
No. That's time.
Every second counts.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I just was wondering.
Does it make you more arrow with gloves?
I have arrow gloves.
Oh my God.
What?
You do not.
Are they rounded?
What makes them arrow?
The fabric.
Okay.
Marginal
For
gains,
what? For
people.
track
What do you mean?
or for
riding.
outside?
For riding.
Where would I see them during track? Like, and what?
Rich wants a pair.
event? I'm just so
Rich wants a
curious.
pair.
No words. Arrow cycling gloves. Look them up. They're there.
But like, these people wear them in a time trial outside, or do they wear them on
Yeah.
the track?
Probably both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I'm
Yeah, on
very
my tri
curious
bike
now. I
also,
learned something
my
today.
hands don't feel as sweaty and slippery, I guess, because of my position.
So do you wear it more for the safety or for the sweat?
Both.
I guess if your hands are too sweaty, you'll slip right off the bike.
But
And
I will
I-
sacrifice the safety for
For
the
the win.
seconds.
For the win.
When it's a race, then
The
throw
nice
that
thing
out.
about the gloves is they usually have that like terry cloth on the thumb, so you can wipe your boogers and it's not.
Oh.
That's what that's for.
I wasn't gonna say it, but that's why I wear them.
Yeah. So when I wear when it's cold and the snot's flowing, then
Right.
I have those gloves on.
So never share gloves.
Oh. Gosh. So we do bikes
That's nice.
first.
Bikes.
But yeah, I mean,
What?
we
What
go to
about-
bikes, but what about like you need a repair? Hold on. You need a repair kit.
Oh,
you do.
yes.
For what? We didn't even talk about bike yet,
We
though.
haven't talked about a bike.
Actually,
For what? Yeah, you're wearing your shorts, your helmet, you have your
ready.
lights on, but you don't have a bike. That's
it's
right.
like,
There
it's like
you
your
go.
Swift avatar waiting. Like,
Yeah, I think you need a repair kit.
yeah,
1,000%.
CO2.
and you have to know how to use it,
Yeah.
right?
Or you ride with someone who knows how to
Yeah.
use it.
So I heard happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was like,
No,
so
you
who's
would've-
going to change
you
my
would have been
flat?
able to change it.
I mean, I could if I had to, if it came down to it. I've
It was
seen it
just
done enough.
Cold.
that
I
could
just
do
wanted
it.
to
Yeah.
get moving.
Yeah, it's the worst when it's cold and trying to get the tire over the rim.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was easy enough to change.
You were fast.
So repair kit, CO2, probably 2 of them,
A tube,
a tube, a patch kit,
a little multi-tool.
some kind of multi-tool. Smaller is better. You only need a couple of.
What-
Realistically, like you need a 3, 4, 5 millimeter Allen key, and because if it's something other than that, you're probably not going to be. You're
Yeah,
probably
cost.
Bike stand.
What's that technical term for that thing that you put the CO2 into to inflate the
The
tube?
little head
What's
thing.
that called? Come on.
It,
Who's
it
got
co- doesn't.
I have no
it doesn't
idea.
come with it. Yeah.
Inflator.
Yeah, CO2.
I think the CO2 is the inflator.
2 CO2s because, as I learned,
Anyway,
it
that
could
little thing.
explode.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not expecting that.
Yeah.
It, like,
he
blew
put the
up in my
thing. He put the
hand.
head thing in it. Just
Like shot right back out.
No, it didn't
Like,
come apart, but all the
all the-
CO2 came out and like
Yeah.
went from it was like 40 degrees out and it went down to like negative 10 in my hands. I just
I
watched it
know,
all
poor
freeze
Greg's
up.
hand.
Greg got frostbite, lost a finger that day.
Yeah.
All for a teammate. It's okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what that little head piece is called.
But they make them different, and you have to know how to use it because that's what it was.
Yes.
It's like that the ones that you and I, Greg, have at the old school where you just screw it in and unscrew it to let it out. But the new ones have some kind of like switches, and
Trigger. Yeah. So then once you
Triggers, yeah.
once you
Okay.
tighten it, then it's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
something. Yeah, so you gotta have that and know how to use it.
That's probably all you need in a repair kit. I feel like sometimes people carry. I think if you're riding a long ride and you're going to be by yourself, maybe you carry a second tube. But that's probably about it. Smaller is better.
Yeah.
Not-
All right, bikes.
All right, bikes.
Now we can talk bikes.
Yeah.
Road bike or tri bike?
Well, let's start any bike. Just
Mm-hmm.
to get into the sport, any bike works. Mountain
Yeah.
bike,
Whatever you have.
hybrid bike, whatever you got sitting around that is functional, bring it to the local bike shop, have them tune it up. If they tell you need new tires, like you bring in something out of the shed or the garage and they say like, oh, you need new tires, maybe ask them to put slicks on. Slicks are not going to have any knobs and treads. They're going to be tons faster than your mountain bike tires on the road, as long as you're just going to ride on the road.
Yeah.
So that in of itself would make your hybrid, probably 1.5 miles an hour faster than it would be with those knobby tires. So you can 100% do your first triathlon or a couple triathlons, maybe your first season on whatever bike you got.
Well, you don't want to use a single speed. You need some
could.
gears.
I mean, what are the odds that somebody getting into tri is going to have a single speed as their only bike?
If someone came with that, then I would be afraid of them.
I'll-
because
Yeah, right.
On most of the courses we have ridden and raced on, not like regular bike rides, I would rather a fixed gear single speed than a hybrid. I would definitely be faster on a fixed
Yeah.
gear than I would
Yeah,
be.
but
So
and we had not single speed, but we had definitely several members who
Yeah.
came on mountain bikes,
Mountain bikes.
hybrids in the beginning.
Yeah.
They were fine.
and we also have like hilly terrain around here, which is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with starting out
Any
with that.
bike. Any bike.
right.
But
So
then-
when
Put some air in the tires.
then it comes time to buy a bike, we've got road bikes, which are your typical drop handlebars, a little bit more upright position, and then we've got our tri bikes, which have that arrow front end, a little bit different geometry. Where do you guys stand on this? If you're buying your first bike, first like serious, let's not call it your first bike, your first serious bike as a triathlete, what are you shopping for?
Road
What
bike.
distance are you doing?
Okay, let's Marilyn jumped on road bike right away, so let's hear why, Marilyn.
Well, what I have been told is that you will get stronger on a road bike.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
And if you're just getting into this, right?
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if you're gonna like it, how long you're gonna be doing it, and then you're stuck with a tri bike that you
Yeah.
can't really do anything with.
I agree. Because I think, like you said, when you first start out, you don't know if you're a serious triathlete or not. I didn't know how far I was going to go down this rabbit hole. And so just investing in a bike, I felt like, I guess I have like an aero road bike, maybe it's called. I don't know. But
There is such a thing.
I felt like it would be more versatile. Because if I've done a couple of tries with it, it was fine. And then I like to just ride it. So
I mean, I did buy my tri bike pretty quick, but if I was giving advice, I'd say probably that's not a smart
Yeah.
thing to do.
I think once you see all
Nobody
the people
needs to
passing
take
you,
James's advice on how fast to buy bikes.
You bought it pretty fast too after like the first race.
a tri bike.
Yeah. Or like you.
I borrowed a tri bike.
Yeah.
I knew I needed to
Right.
get a tri bike because when I saw everyone passing in NJ State because it was
Right.
windy and I was like, oh my gosh, like people were just Greg just flew by. I remember him just like disc wheel and everything just flying
Yeah.
by. I just saw everyone. For some in my head, I was like, oh, everyone's on a tri bike. Everyone's on a tri bike. Like, I gotta get a tri bike.
Now, Rich, when you bought your first serious bike, you did buy a tri bike.
Yeah, I also know a little bit about myself. I tend to do things all in. Not always the best thing to do. So I knew that I was going to be doing tries. So I kind of like right tool for the right job. And it's true. I rode a tri bike for a decade before getting a serious road bike. So I'm very comfortable on it. I think it's a great training tool if you're going to do tries. I'm not encouraging, but I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a tri bike and using it. And absolutely, they are phenomenal machines. The technology is great. I only got the road bike really because I was getting dropped easier on hills because tri bikes have a different fit seating position. So I was getting dropped more on hills and, just kind of said it was a good thing to get stronger for hills. And that's when I got a road bike. But
So instead of improving your fitness and your actual body, you went with just trying to buy something.
there's no fitness here. There's zero fitness in body
You
here.
took the easy way out. Is what you're saying.
Anything that I can do to help stay.
I will say, if you're going to ride with other people, you shouldn't really be on a tri bike.
Also,
They're just
You shouldn't be in arrow position. I think you can be on a tri bike. You're just not going to drop into your handlebars.
right. I think with the advent of like electronic shifting and stuff, it's easier to ride a tri bike in a group, like you're saying, up on the bullhorns. But then why? Like a tri bike on the bullhorns is not as comfortable as a road bike.
And you can't get as much wattage out of it uphill.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on what your surroundings are. It's a pain in the ass to ride a tri bike around here with the stoplights and just cars that are on the road and stuff like that. Like it's just not a fun experience.
So I'll probably sound like an idiot, but I'll ask the question: why can't they put brakes on the aero bars?
So they can. And years ago, and I don't know if you still see. I don't think you really see this too much. There used to be a brake lever that people would put on one of them, and I don't remember whether they'd hook it up to the front or the rear brake. And you could modulate. You could work your brakes from the aero. You wouldn't have two of them. You just have one, and it would just be to like scrub a little bit of speed. But the big thing is you're not taking sharp turns in your aero bars, so you're going to have to come up to the bullhorns anyway, and then your hands are on the brakes.
They're more finicky in order to react to things. You're going to come up.
Yeah, you're just not as reactive on a tri bike, I don't think.
Yeah.
So in a group, it's kind of looked. You shouldn't really show up to a group ride. My personal opinion, I guess, and ride in the group. Definitely not in aero. If the tri bike's all you got, I would even probably stay a little bit further in the back. Like I just,
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Did you feel constantly judged by Greg when you came in your tri bike? Is that why you bought?
no, because I knew that was the only bike he had. I don't judge.
But they also, what's the rules? They don't. Some races don't allow tri bikes. Road races don't allow tri bikes.
No, definitely not.
Some will let you in, and you could do some.
No,
Some races.
USAC. Nobody's riding a tri bike in a road race. Absolutely not.
All right, there you go.
No. So
So if
have
you get a
any
tri bike,
you're not doing
any
road races. Yeah, road races, criterium, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just in a group, it's not even close to safe. I think the points you guys brought up were good. Like, I think road bike is probably the smarter first bike to have for a bunch of reasons. But it is not as fast as a tri bike. You know, your tri bike is definitely faster. It puts you in a much more aero position. There's no two ways around it. You know, so.
One of the interesting things I noticed when I first started getting into tri was everyone I met was like, "Oh, do you need a bike?" Like everyone had a bike.
Yeah,
Seemed
that
like
they
to let
wanted to
you
sell.
like borrow, not just to borrow. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh!" Like so, the way I started was Jerry lent me his bike, and it was too big for him, so it worked out for me. It was a little small, but it worked really well for me. But he would introduce me to the other people, like, "Oh, they're like, do you need a bike? I got a bike you can borrow." I was like, "Oh wow, is this normal?" Like,
Because I think a lot of people tend to start off with a lower end bike and then you upgrade. Or...
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, chicken and egg question. What comes first, the bike or the fit?
What? The bike or the fit?
Yeah. Do you get a
Yeah.
bike fit, get a bike? Or do you get a bike and then get the bike fit? What do you do? Like, where do you go? Where do you start? Oh, Greg's silent.
I did.
Everyone's
but
looking at Greg, but he's
I
silent.
did two. I did one in each way.
Oh, let's
So
hear it.
My first bike, I was fit to it. Like someone said, I have a perfect bike for you. And I love it. It's really comfortable. It worked out perfect. And my second bike, I got a fit and then was told this is the bike that would fit you. And I don't know.
Not sold.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. James.
I did the fit first. So I got my measurements,
Mm-hmm.
then they plugged that into whatever, and they said, "Oh, like your measurements fit exactly on this frame. Like you're in the middle. So like if you ever want to get more aggressive, there's room, or if you want to get less
Right.
aggressive."
That's
So
what I
I was
got.
never like pinned up against one.
Yeah.
It would give me enough play either
That's
way.
what I got too.
And I was definitely very happy with it. So I've done that for my road bike and my tri bike.
What made you go get the fit first?
I don't know if it was recommendations from other people on the team because someone recommended the fit place. So and it was very comprehensive. It was like a pretty long process where it was checking hamstring mobility.
It's a whole other episode.
Yeah.
We can do on fit. And now we turn to the silent man over there. Let's hear it.
I think it depends. I didn't get a fit until years after I started riding, but I was able to kind of feel out what it should feel like. I feel like any bike shop worth its salt is going to be able to put you on the right size bike, right? So then from that point, it's kind of fine tuning. If you are in between sizes, then it becomes a little more difficult. None of us really are. Well, I mean, we had a long talk before you got your road bike, right?
Yep.
We went back and forth a
I'm
lot
in
because
between sizes on
you are in
like
between sizes,
giant
right?
bikes. Yep.
So I think if you're in between sizes, it's a good thing to do is to get a fit. But it also it depends on where a fit's expensive. You know, it's $300 or $400, right?
But it's more expensive to get a bike that you're uncomfortable after you've
Yes.
I think-
done your growth, and then you've got to get a whole new bike.
Even with a fit though, as you progress and get better, I don't know if it's that your riding changes or you notice things, because I had a bike fit on my tri bike and it was the next season after that where I was like, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And then I went and had it fit again and it needed to be adjusted.
Yeah, I don't think a fit is a
It's not like a
set in
one-time.
stone, not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, definitely. Even the seat height, as your muscles and your legs
Everything.
grow. Yeah. Everything.
So I don't know. I don't know where it's I don't think.
You got to tell our listener something.
No, I don't. I think there's a lot of people who do it both ways, and everybody can be happy. Like I don't think there's a you have to do it this way.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. Like if you've never ridden a bike before or not seriously ridden a bike before, and you're like, okay, I'm going all in on this. I'm going to spend $5,000 on a bike. Then I do think you should get a fit first. But I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, How can I get a bike for $1,000? How can I get a bike for $1,500? I'd be hard pressed to say like you're going to spend $1,000 on a bike and $400 on a bike fit. I don't understand. I don't think I can make that, or tell somebody to go do that.
Might as well
Yeah,
get a
it is
$1,500
expensive.
bike.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
when you're starting out, you get whatever bike you can afford and get your hands on that will pretty much work, and
Yeah.
then just see if you like the sport. And
Yeah.
then,
And I
then-
mean, there is a point of diminishing returns with these bikes. Like, once you get over a certain dollar amount, you are not getting that much more for your huge increase in cost.
I forget what bike I was looking at. It had like aero covers for the brake calipers
Mhm.
on the bike. I was like, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, for 2 watts, 2 watts of savings. So, I think we kind of consent. Rich, if you had to do it again, would you buy your tri bike first?
Yeah, because I was doing tries and I was riding what would be around here more of the straightaways, and I was training alone for a long, long time.
Okay.
So it's not like, and maybe if I started with a group for our listeners, and doing more rides with a group, I would get a road bike. I think it depends on your situation. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it, and I got like a decent bike. Of course, there's better, right? But I kind of got the one that I could for the budget and stayed with it for a long time and still use it.
Yep.
So
What do we got next? Material or new versus used?
what bikes?
Yeah,
My fear of used.
is what happened to me when I bought a used bike, and James attacked me on that hill.
And that's just the unknown, and it's unfortunate that it's the one thing that like you'd want to buy used, but
Right.
like that's the big fear. Like even a shop, when they check it out, I don't know. I mean, they can do how good of a job can they do, Greg, of really checking it, right?
Yep.
And so it sucks because you want to do it, but
Mhm.
that's my biggest
Yeah, you
fear.
got to make sure that the bike is in good shape and there's nothing, wrong with it. So
I think it was good though a good way to learn about bikes when I was checking out all the used bikes listed and having to read the description and all the parts and components, from going from not knowing anything and then starting to figure out certain group sets or whatever, if it's aluminum, carbon, kind of just makes you learn what's like valuable and what's not valuable.
mhm.
And
Aluminum or carbon? What are you going with?
carbon.
Yeah, carbon's the way to go nowadays.
There's some pretty light aluminum bikes.
Yes, and that's what scares me about them. Like, I don't know
It's
that
not as
aluminum.
strong, right?
Yeah, and aluminum fails catastrophically. Like, it doesn't. Like, when I broke my carbon bike, I rode it home.
I know. The miracle of carbon. He rode it home.
And you can't do it like an aluminum bike. Like, there's horror stories about people, and this is really big. Like, everybody, if you ride indoors a lot, you should untape your handlebars every once in a while, and especially if you have aluminum bars, and check that those things aren't corroded to shit.
Yeah.
Because there have been people who are riding indoors, or they do a big chunk of riding indoors, and then they go outside and their bars just snap,
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh.
and your bars break. You're not saving that. Like, and that's because the way aluminum fails. So I've had aluminum bikes. They've been fine. Never had any problems with them.
You only need that one. Then you have a problem with.
Yeah.
I mean, the only aluminum bike I broke was the car's fault that hit me. So it wasn't the aluminum's fault. So they do make excellent aluminum bikes still. I think you can probably find inexpensive ones out there, but carbon's probably the way to go. So
And I mean, I guess the way it's been in the last couple of years is just whatever you can get, because it's been tough.
Yeah.
with the supply chain. Like, bikes are really hard to come by.
Yeah,
I think it's
so-
getting a
I've
little
seen
bit
a lot
better.
of used ones though recently.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I think there's good deals to be had there for the person getting into it. As bikes start to become more and more disc brake focused, people are off at getting rid of their rim brake bikes, and also their rim brake wheels. So like you might be able to get, like, my tri bike is rim brakes, and like I can probably pick up some crazy fast wheels from somebody who's upgrading to a disc
Yes.
brake bike and has this good set of rim brake wheels left, that they can't do anything with. They could have ridden them, 100 miles for race day only stuff, and they can't use them. So there are definitely deals to be had out there on that kind of stuff.
Oh, but then you brought up disc versus rim.
Yeah. So I've got a bike with each of them. I love my road bike with disc wheels, except for the noise they make sometimes when the rotors heat up and warp a little bit. But I never had a problem on rim brakes either. So
I think tri-bikes with rim brakes, which what I have, like you don't want to brake too much on,
you don't need
on
to,
a
you don't
race.
need to
and a
stop too much in a
Right,
race.
so totally cool, and I don't really care that I don't have disc brakes, but in certain weather, it is nice on the road bike to have the disc brakes for
Yeah.
me.
Mhm. So
I had problems with my disc brakes in the beginning, but I think it was more. Well, one I think is first was set up not so great because the travel was so long.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
have the press the
Have
handle
that.
all the way to the bars and it wouldn't engage all the way. So I think it just needed to be bled better properly. And then me just playing around my bike, I would always get, I guess, some sort of contamination on the actual rotors. And so it would just sound like this angry duck or goose honking every time I'd press the brake. It was so loud. I think one time we were riding, I was leaving my house.
Oh,
To
and
go
that's
for a
when
ride.
I saw you because I
And-
was like, "What is that
You
animal?"
were I was
It was
going down
him.
my driveway and I
That's
pressed
right.
the brake really loud.
I was like, "What is that?" It was
That was
James.
me, the angry goose.
Yeah, yeah. I have both. I don't know. I haven't noticed.
yeah,
Any difference?
I think the biggest place you're going to see the difference is when you're riding in the rain with rim brakes and especially carbon wheels.
Mhm.
So the compounds for the brake pads have gotten a lot better, but carbon rimmed brakes in the rain are not the best.
Yep.
So any other stuff for bikes?
Oh yeah, one big one,
Go ahead.
the saddle.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody just went, oh,
No, I mean that's a hard one.
uh-oh.
That is one place where if you could find a fit studio, that is a valuable thing to do, is just go and sit on saddles.
I've considered changing my tri-bike saddle, but how do you even start to change that? Because
Aren't there companies you can just buy, and then if you don't like it, you send it back? But I feel like you need to ride it for
my
a
gosh,
while
exactly.
to figure it
It's
out.
like
Yeah,
such
It's
a-
not like I can go on one ride and be like,
I almost feel like I could do it and get a new one, and it's probably going to be worse. There's just so many variables.
So I'm gonna try and find this article, and it's gonna be really. I think I could probably dig it up. It's an old article, and this is specifically for female cyclists.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cobb, who is the guy who figured out the
I
split
think
nose, right?
I think that's this.
He has an article out there about female anatomy,
Mm-hmm.
and based on your specific female anatomy,
Mm-hmm.
the type of saddle that you should kind of lean towards.
Okay.
I really don't want to go into the details of it
That's
on this
fine. Pass
podcast
it
without
on. Yeah.
clicking the explicit link.
Pass on the
You might
article.
need a mirror, but it gets into a lot about.
why doesn't he do that for the boys? I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, isn't there,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't have
pass
we
it
have
on.
we have different anatomy.
Right,
if you
but
haven't figured
still.
it out. Yeah.
the split nose? and
Ours
stuff?
is much easier to figure out.
Hmm.
So I'll try and find that article, and
Yes,
either I'll send it
thank
to
you.
you and I'll put it in the show notes if it's there. But yeah, saddle is tough.
That's so hard.
My road bike, I found a great one years ago, and I just
Yeah, same. My road bike is it's great.
I like one that has a little bit of a curve to it, like a little thing in the back that it's not a flat saddle.
Like something protruding upward into you.
Well, now you have to click the explicit button.
I don't even have a good witty retort for that. I got nothing. No, think about the old school banana seats that had the tail in the back that came up. My saddle, the Physique Aliante or whatever it's called, has got it's curved. It's not a flat perch. So
That's your road bike?
yeah, my road bike, my tri bike. I'm still trying to find one I really like.
I'm imagining you have the thong of bike saddles.
All bike saddles are thongs, except for the split nose.
Weren't we talking about this on a ride though? Like that someone should do like the Magic 5 version of the saddle,
They
But yeah,
do.
we were.
where like
and
you take a 3D scan
two-
then of your butt
well,
instead.
So a couple of
There
companies
is something
now.
similar
They
where
do.
it measures the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit
Yeah.
on a thing and it measures. I mean, you could do. I've seen people do this with corrugated cardboard. You just put it on a hard surface. You sit down on it and you measure where your sit bones are, and you can get an idea of how wide the saddle should be.
Right.
And most companies now are coming up with different width saddles. I know Physique has different widths. Specialized has different widths, and that's a big part to start with. Physique has kind of come up with. I don't know if they still stick to this, but like based on how flexible you are, how much curve there is in your saddle. Like the more flexible you are, the flatter of a saddle you're theoretically gonna. So that puts you into like groups to at least look at, and then from there it's how much padding do you want to cut out for your. You know, like guys have to worry about going numb and stuff like that, which is a weird feeling.
So weird.
You said that in kind of a creepy way. I've never had trouble with it, but I've never like. Does your saddle have a cutout in it?
I have the split, the ISM demo.
But on your
but on the
your
road,
road bike, no.
no.
James, does your saddle have a?
I don't
hole in it?
remember. I think
What do you
so.
mean, your road bike, you don't know?
I think so.
It has a
He
cutout in the
doesn't know.
back.
No,
Is
no.
that
I
what
mean
you're
like
talking
where
about? In the
your
back?
where your taint would be.
I
Yeah,
definitely
I don't think so.
definitely don't have the protrusion. I know that. But I think it is a split.
It's custom.
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
I just
don't-
ride it.
You just get on the bike and ride.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one.
Yeah. So you know they've got all these different versions of it. You know that you could try out, and it's just a trial and error thing. I think.
But don't give up. If you sit on the bike and it's horrible,
yeah.
there's other saddles
Yep.
out there.
But it's gonna be uncomfortable.
I don't think so. I
No?
don't think it has to be uncomfortable. I think a good pair of shorts, a well-fit bike, and you know a saddle that fits your anatomy shouldn't be uncomfortable.
It took me a while to get used to it. And
Yeah.
I used both. It just took a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm
not,
used to it now. Whatever saddle, I'm pretty sure I can sit on it. But
I never thought when I was a kid when I rode my bike, I never thought, oh my gosh, my butt hurts.
Yeah, but
Did
didn't
you ride for 5-6 hours?
Well, I don't know. But I just like then I get on a
Did you
road
stand
bike.
up
I'm
on
like, oh
the
my
wheels?
gosh, this is there's like there's no padding. It feels like there's no padding on.
It's also a different seat
Yeah.
compared to your kid's bike.
It's like sky high. Like you're not used to.
Yeah.
It's different.
Your weight's on it differently too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say like just give it some time first.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to feel good at first, for
Yeah.
sure.
Right. Ease into it as you kind of grow your training and stuff. You should get used to it. Anything else with the bikes, guys?
that's
A
all I
pump.
had.
you need a
That's
pump.
it.
Do we want to get into these last couple ones, or do we want to pause it and then we could? What do we want to do?
I think we're going to go
We're
so
gonna-
long if we start getting
yeah.
into the electronics and the shoes and everything like that.
Okay, so let's do this one last. Some way to track your workouts,
Yes.
right? So you're doing all this training, you got all this gear. Some way to track it. I think you've got a watch.
Yeah, all watches right now, like literally all watches have some way of
Yeah.
tracking your heart
All three
rate
things, yeah.
and your workout.
Mhm.
Some batteries will last longer than others, without naming companies, but a lot of watches you can do some decent watch.
Yeah, I think like even the Apple Watch can pretty much do
Apple Watch can do it.
absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You know,
They actually have a feature which is kind of cool now that they've put out, which when you go from swim, it automatically does your transition.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
The Apple Watch does?
Yeah.
yeah.
Apple Watch with that touch screen, though.
So I
is-
think Garmin's has touchscreen too now.
yes, but it deactivates the
Right.
touch screen during your workouts,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
kind of the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, just get a watch that does some basic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I started with
important
a Fitbit,
Mhm.
and
There you go.
it tracked. It still tracked swim, biking, running, but it didn't have like triathlon mode. But it did what I needed at the time.
Yeah. I even think your phone can do most of the stuff. Like you can
That's
get a
true.
mount for
Yeah.
your phone on the
Mhm.
bike, like a twist lock thing that's, you
Mhm.
could have it up there. It's not going to track your swims, I guess, unless you're doing open water and you stuff it into your buoy.
That's
But
scary.
the phone can do everything.
Yeah, but I think we also said that we don't use too much tech in the water. We didn't even say watch for the water, right? For
Right.
the swim. So
Yeah.
you could do it on your phone.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's definitely worth the investment eventually to get
Yes.
a smartwatch.
some kind of, whether it's a Garmin, and I'd try it like, and then probably a bike computer also. And I really like staying in the same ecosystem for those
Yes,
two.
that's what I was going to say, that I think staying in the same ecosystem makes sense. Just for ease,
Yeah.
not because it doesn't work. You can figure it out,
Yep.
but like staying in the same ecosystem just helps with how easy things work in
Yep.
between the things you use.
All right, guys. So any other stuff that you think is smart for the budding triathlete to have to pick up to
It was really
spend their
quick.
tax return on?
It was really quick that I went to use a heart rate monitor.
Mhm.
And even if you have like a fancy watch that's supposed to really do good heart rate on the wrist, you don't need it. But I think that it's good. It's one of the first things that
Strap is
get.
better for running than the watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
The watch is just not as accurate for a lot of stuff.
Especially
So,
for the running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think that was the next thing that.
a chest strap.
Yeah.
Even
Mhm.
they've done the optical ones that go like on your forearm or your bicep. I don't know which companies make those. I think Polar makes one. Much more accurate than wrist based
Yeah.
for running
Oh,
because there's not
interesting.
as much movement and stuff. And that's what it is. It's just bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also like how much hair you have on your arms, your skin color,
Right.
all those things have effects on those optical sensors.
Tattoos.
Mm.
Like triathlon, like big Ironman.
No, I'm
M
just
dot
saying, like
tattoos? Oh.
the reading the heart rate
Oh,
through
yeah.
tattoos.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
same as
doesn't do
darker
it.
skin, the darker your
Yeah, that
skin,
pigment
it
one- yeah.
yeah.
okay. Okay, makes sense. So heart rate monitor, strap, pretty inexpensive, but kind of makes your data a little bit more accurate that you're collecting. And then one spot to put all that data, Strava is a nice one from the
Pretty
kinda-
much whatever you have, whatever you get, will have some sort of back
Yeah.
end or front end, whatever you want to call it, application that it's going to go to. So, yes, there's definitely things that everyone's using, but don't focus too much on it in the beginning.
Mhm. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm sure there's stuff we left out, but we're at an hour and 21 minutes. Every one
For,
of these
not
keeps
for
getting
swim
long.
or bike. I mean, there's run stuff. There's
Yeah, we didn't talk about
nutrition.
Oh, we didn't talk
We
about
didn't
running.
talk about run.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I said.
I mean,
that's why I
grab
said
a
it.
pair of sneakers and some shorts, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
What about a hat? Do you use a visor? Sunglasses? Sunblock.
Definitely need sunglasses.
Sunblock.
Hat.
Sweatband for me.
Sweatband.
Actually,
I was going to ask the question: do you use the waist bottle or do you use the vest? I mean, I know we have different
Oh my
opinions here on
gosh.
this. I know. So I said another hour.
Definitely vest.
I can't do
Vest.
the waist bottle.
I
It
can't
bounces
do the weight.
around.
Yeah, it's so
too much.
annoying. The
I
don't know.
vest is like super easy. You don't
Arm
even
hold.
know it's there. Oh,
Arm
that's
hold
even
bottom.
worse than the waist.
Oh
thing.
my god.
Unless it's if it's short, like a few miles, that's fine.
Yeah.
but
In the beginning,
yeah,
just good pair of sneakers.
that's it.
No, good pair of sneakers.
Just sneakers.
Just sneakers.
That's it.
Basketball shoes.
I love the shorts with the liner inside. Once you
You got to be careful with you have to test those out. We did a long run together, you and me,
And you,
and
yeah.
dude, the shorts I
haven't
wore
ran in them yet?
sucked. No,
No.
he's saying the shorts with liners,
Oh.
like different liners, definitely are not all the same. I got a pair from REI that I were really like. They're super comfortable, and then at about 6 miles, just
Chamois cream.
I needed
You got
I
that
needed
pump.
more. I don't know.
A tub of chamois cream along the way.
I've been lucky. I just get whatever's on sale at Old Navy, and they've worked out well for me. I mean, I know there's much better
Did you get your bike
Lululemon.
at Old Navy?
If I could have, yeah.
I want to live in James Land. It's just yeah.
I don't need chamois cream. I don't need shorts.
What? You wear
Maybe I'm missing out a
sneakers?
lot of stuff. Well, it's the other
you
thing.
could go
I
barefoot running and not even need sneakers.
Minimalist.
I mean, that would fix my form a lot, right? Because you can't heel strike barefoot, right?
That's true.
Do you heel strike?
I used to, and then I did that run DNA. So I was an overstriding heel striker.
I think we all were.
Now I'm very forefoot,
Me
midfoot,
too.
all about that.
All right.
You can stop the video. James's hard drive's probably full.